Today we've got a selection of games I've played with other players. I've got a load of in-game friends who have added off various lists, and here's just a selection. So first we're playing with Top G and Rock Index. Rock Index is somebody who is regularly in-game, and if you like to team up with other players, I'd recommend adding them as a friend. So both of my teammates are using the new Ultra Strike. I'm using the Ultra Select because it's the best blaster. Trying to hold the middle here, haven't realised that on the minimap there's someone behind me attacking me, but thankfully we managed to fall back and kill them. Didn't stop my teammates getting taken out though, so Top G's now come in with the Ghoul Grinder and Rock Index has come back in with the heavy shotgun, I forget the name of it. So both my teammates advance into the opposing side because they've got blasters that favour upfront action. Unfortunately, Top G also has 4 of the tokens, so we need to hope that they don't get taken out. But thankfully that Ghoul Grinder blaster does have a heal ability. So Top G's now dropped the tokens and the enemies have got it. So I'm just going to fall back and hope that they bring the tokens back to the centre rather than advancing. Right, so we've got them to drop the tokens, we've got teammates coming in, and now we've picked up the tokens and have retreated. Rock Index there using the Brainsaw, which again is a really solid blaster for pinball. So I'm doing a good job of surviving. I've taken out a fair few people, haven't taken any significant damage yet. We've got that heal card on cooldown, which is useful, and Rock Index has dropped the tokens, so we need to try and avenge his death, which we do, and we've picked the tokens up ourselves. So now we're in a nice strong position, we've got most of the tokens, and we're in a comfortable position next to our base. Rock Index picked up the other 2 tokens and needs a bit of support, so I run in and try and lay down some covering fire, which works quite effectively. Now we just need Rock Index to fall back. Unfortunately they get taken out, but I'm there to pick the tokens up. So now we're just going to beeline for that ramp, but unfortunately I get killed in the process. So we're coming back in with a handy Revonics and we're going to try and recover those tokens. I was surprised to get one-shotted by that Hyperfire, but I think the Dragon Power card helped with that. It just sort of came out of nowhere, although they might have teleported in, to be fair. Okay, I've still only got 8 of the 10 tokens, so I'm just trying to support my teammates who are doing a good job of picking up the other tokens when they get down. I run forward with the shield on, I've now got 10 tokens, so the game is over. Nice victory. Right, let's look at another game. Okay, now we're in 3v3, we're in the dungeon and we're with Solodragon and King Toni. The dungeon's definitely a Revonics map, so I'm going to start with this. If you've seen some of my other videos, you might remember the billboard trick, so let's see if we can put that into practice. What I'm trying to do is head up and hold one of the pillars. I'm on the right hand side, so I'm taking this. I need to use my shield because it's a 2-on-1 situation, but the bouncing darts of the Revonics doing a good job and letting us win the 2-on-1. Helped out at the end there by Solodragon. Now I'm going to manual fire at the backboard using the bouncing darts of the Revonics to ricochet off and into people as they spawn, which just causes disarray and chaos among the opponents, especially because we've got that stun ability as well. And you can see that we've got King Toni holding the opposing pillar, doing the same thing, so we really are in a strong position. And we've also got Solodragon just holding with the Ultra Select and doing some sniping. So between the 3 of us, you can see we very quickly ran through the opponents. Looks like we've lost 1 person. I think that might be Solodragon. But 7-1 kills. This should be a nice easy victory for us. For our opponents to have any chance, they really need to avoid clumping together and teleport onto one of the centre pillars and try and take out either me or Toni. So far, no good, and the shield just preventing us from taking any damage there. Nice, quick, easy victory. Let's move on to the next game. Back into the dungeon again, so we'll do like we did in the last match, and we're going to start with the Revonics. Both Toni and Solo interact with my channel fairly regularly, so thank you to both of you for doing that. I hope you enjoy watching this gameplay footage. So this time I've got the left flank, so heading up there, need to win this 1-on-1 so that we can control the middle and immediately get killed by a 2 blaster with the Dragon Power. So now I'm back with the Ultra Select and we're in sniping mode. Not the best sniping map because there's a lot of obstacles that prevent line of sight, but those 2 Those two middle pillars make for good leverage, but at the moment I've got a little bit of height from my spawn position, so we'll hold this until it's no longer tenable, and now we have to fight forward. Just need to wait for that shield to expire because we can't kill the person with the brain saw. But never mind, team doing a good job. We're working together as a group and slowly pushing forward towards that centre ground. So Solodragon pushing forward, getting a kill but also getting taken out, so they will now be coming up the rear. And once again that 2 blaster taking me out. So now I'm having to spawn back in with the Rivonics, which is the preferred blaster for this map. Okay, so coming back in now, I need to run up and support my opponents. We're on 6 kills to 3 at the moment, but we need to be careful. So I'm trying to support my teammates, accidentally teleport back through, and unfortunately both Toni and Solodragon get taken out. So that was very poor by me there. And now we're in a much worse position, so rushing forward, hit the shield so that we don't die, and I'm trying to take the middle pillar. We've got a opposing shield which has just expired, so we need to take that person out, and this is a bit hairy. We only need the 1 kill to get the win, and unfortunately I get myself tagged again, so I'm relying on my teammates to get the win for us here. Come back in with the ultra select, and now we can lay down heavy sniper fire, and there we go. We actually get 2 kills right at the end there, so we end 11 kills to 8. A good game, but quite a hairy game at the same time. That was difficult. Moving on, we're still in the dungeon. Can't seem to escape this map tonight. Never mind though. Let's just jump in with the Rivonics, and hopefully this match will go a bit better than the last one. Once again spawned on the left flank, so I'm going to rush forward towards the left pillar, try and take and hold that, and then we can hopefully use our trick. King Toni cleverly has teleported up to that pillar, so now both of us are on this side. We should be able to take control, and Solodragon is holding down at our base, trying to defend from a push from the right hand side. So a little bit of supporting fire, and Solodragon very comfortably holding that side, so we don't need to worry about being flanked. Now it's a hard fight for the left hand pillar, so we're using the shield, getting hit with some knockback, which is never great, but it looks like Toni and I held that quite well using the Rivonixes, and Solo's doing a good job of holding the right hand flank, so we don't need to worry about that. Very close to death, so just trying to fire off a couple of manual shots in the hope of getting some extra life, but I get taken out once again by a 2 blaster. That's been a bit of a thorn in my side on this map. So back in with the ultra select, and now Solodragon's having a bit of a hard time on the right hand flank and gets taken out. So we're just going to hold our base, wait for the opponents to rush us, which they try and fail to do, and that enables us to get the final kill and the victory. So good game there, well played to my teammates. Let's jump on to our next game. And we finally escaped the dungeon. We're in Old Town. Not one of my favourite maps, but nice to have a bit of variety. So for this match, I'm going to start with the Ultra Select because there's some quite long lines of sight, so it should be quite fun for sniping. Starting on the right flank outside, so we're going to immediately back up because we've got more than enough range to still lay down heavy fire. Now we can move up on our side with a couple of seconds reprisal. Got a double punch here, hopefully we can take that person out. Nope, they've got a shield, we best be careful. And now we're in a 3-on-3 situation. We are 2-0, so just need to keep the pressure up, and now we're 3-1. Getting hit from somewhere, but this double punch needs to die before they've got a chance to heal. Managed to take them out, so I'm just going to run straight for the teleporter rather than trying to fight my way back, and now we're in a good position. As a sniper, you can run to like the edges of the map and try and pick people off, but there's a lot of various obstacles and things that can make it really hard to get line of sight, especially if people are fighting within the houses. So I don't tend to do that. I have seen other players do it to good effect, but that's not my style. Okay, we win the 2-on-1 situation there for the kill. Nice quick game. Let's move to the next. Ancient Ruins now, my favourite design of all the 3-on-3 maps, but it does mean that we're playing against bots. You can tell because it's an asymmetric map, which means that you always spawn with a bridge on your right hand side. If you were in a genuine 6-player 3-on-3 matchmaking situation, sometimes you'd spawn on the other side so the bridge would be to your left. You literally never ever see that, so that tells you that you are playing against bots who always load in on the other side of the map. which is a shame because the design is just great. It's absolutely perfect for sniping. It's really good for the ultra speed blaster. Yeah, I'd love to play a proper 3-on-3 spawning on the other side. That would be great, but it's never happened, and I've been playing this game for about 8 months. Another telltale sign on maps that you are always on one side will be the direction of travel of things like the boulder there or trains on Old Town. So it kind of gives the game away, really. It's very disappointing, and the game could easily disguise that fact by sometimes having you spawn on the other side, but for some reason it always has you spawn on the same side of the map, and it just tells you straight away that you're not playing against real human players. Such a shame. And that's why we got a very easy 10-0 victory. Okay, on to some more games. Okay, this time we're definitely against bots because we're in zombie strike mode, teaming up with Gellalosen and Mr. Croat. So it's zombie strike, so I always stand here with the kind of gated area to my right, so I know I'll never be attacked from the right. And from here I can just use the Rivonics to cause chaos. I can bounce the darts off of various bits of scenery to help my teammates out, and with us having 2 human players, we should very, very easily mow through all these zombies. I would expect that all human players have their own strategy for this map, and probably no one will be taken out. So you can see all 3 of us have picked a position on the map and we're holding it. So Mr. Croat is off on the left, you can't quite see him except for when I turn to the left, and we've got Gellalosen on the right. But no offence at all, but my position is superior because I can hold a single direction choke point and you can't. This is objectively the best place on this particular map to play from, because if I need to, I can retreat to my right hand side into the corner, and then I only have to defend a single direction, which is perfect because the zombies behave the way that they behave. They're just going to line up and run at you, which lets you just mow them down with the Rivonics with absolute ease. So see, you can see me retreating there. I don't have to retreat all the way, but when I do that, I know I don't have to worry about what's coming from behind me. So Mr. Croat now has come down, has jumped in with me, also using the Rivonics, which is the correct blaster to use on this map. If you don't have the Rivonics unlocked, the Ghoul Grinder would be a really good blaster to use, or anything that has got a high capacity and has got a good healing ability. That's your general rule of thumb for this. 11 seconds to go, so we're leaving our point of safety, just trying to get as many kills as we can before that timer runs out. We've got the shield, so we don't need to worry about dying. If you want strategy on Zombie Strike, I've got loads of videos on it. There we go, look, victory bonus 36, that's the highest I've ever had, and we immediately unlock 6 levels of reward just through one match. That's the most I've ever done. Right, just straight into the next one. Okay, so Croat switched to game type to pinball. I didn't actually realise this until we started playing. I thought we were still in Zombie Strike, so I just absent-mindedly jumped straight in with the Rivonics. Immediately realised that we were in pinball, so I'm like, okay, great. We're going to apply a slightly different strategy than I usually do. I'm going to be more upfront and menacing because I've got the healing ability and those ricocheting darts, so let's try and play more of a tank role. One player's broke through with the use of a shield, but as soon as it's down they'll die, and now we've got control of our side of the battlefield. We've got another Rivonics running around. I think that is Mr. Croat running around with the Rivonics, so 2 Rivonics is just going to be a complete nightmare for the opponents. Chances are we'll be able to just start spawn killing them, and already we've got to the point where all 3 aren't on the battlefield at the same time. I'm just using that backboard to ricochet the darts off. You can see him doing damage from the numbers jumping up. We're getting some stuns, getting some kills. Nice work. I've also noticed Gellalosen has got some weird costume going on. It's like some sort of weird, like, fat bumblebee thing. Never seen that before. Quite interesting and unique. I'll have a look out for that in the store. So the opponents are just getting spawn killed. As soon as they spawn in, they're lasting like 5 seconds if they're lucky, and getting taken out again. So you can see all 3 spawned in, all 3 got killed. I'm just picking up the tokens. This is just a whitewash so far. Mr. Croat is another player who is often in game and will invite you to games if you're online when he's online. You can find him at the top of most leaderboards. I strongly recommend adding him as a friend if you haven't already. And you can see how quickly, like 2 minutes still to go on the timer, and we've just completely dominated our opponents. They didn't even make a serious push on us outside of that initial push at the beginning. Okay, good game. Let's move on to another. Pinball Arena 2 now, with those long tubes. This is a very good map to use the Revonics on because you can bounce the darts down the tubes, but I'm going to use the Ultra Select because of the long lines of sight. It makes it really good for sniping. If Mr. Croat decides to come in with the Dreadbolt, this is going to cause an absolute nightmare for our opponents because the tubes will very quickly get filled with zombies, although that does make sniping harder. But from what I can see so far, there's no zombies, so I don't believe that's the case. Oh no, wait, yep, there are definitely zombies on the field. Right, there is a Dreadbolt running around, which means we're going to very quickly see zombies pop up left, right and centre, and this is going to become a very cluttered map. Should make for a very, very quick and easy victory. This is just easy mode for us, and we can allow the zombies to act essentially as the tanks drawing fire while we just pick people off. The hardest bit is just finding decent lines of sight, but as soon as you get one, you take somebody out and then boom, another zombie appears. The zombies die very quickly, but it does not matter at all. I expect this game to be over within the next 30 seconds. Unless, of course, somebody gets bored and decides to run all the way to the other side of the field with the tokens. But the fact that we've got no bots on our team means that's quite unlikely. Okay, so one opponent has managed to make it to the middle, picked up a token, they didn't last. Another one's followed in the footsteps, also got taken out. So even though they've managed to push into the middle for a very short amount of time, they've not managed to create any sort of offensive against us. They haven't managed to hold that position, so we haven't had to fall back at all. So that was a valiant attempt, but ultimately didn't amount to anything. Now the countdown's on. There's no real threat to us. We don't even have to retreat because our opponents haven't got a coordinated push coming. There we go. Nice and easy victory. Right, let's look at some more games. Okay, now we're in pinball, playing with Rock, Index and Snoetoes. Snoetoes again near the top of the leaderboard. So what happened here was Rock, Index and I had the same outfit on, so Snoetoes noticed that and decided to change to the same outfit. So now all three of us are coordinated and wearing a sort of uniform, which is, you know, kind of fun. Doesn't make a difference, but it is funny. Snoetoes is using the Dreadbolt, the Revonics and the Cyclone Shock for that 20% fire rate increase. And Rock Index is using the Ultra Strike, the Ghoul Grinder and the Elite 2.0 Warden Shotgun Blaster, which isn't very good. I assume that they're doing that because of a quest or something, because that's not a blaster you'd normally use. Its abilities aren't amazing. But yeah, pinball's a perfect place to bring blasters where you just need to get kills with them to complete quests. Yeah, the Elite 2.0 Warden, a flop in the game, and a flop in real life. That blaster was completely broken, like it barely worked off the shelf, and in this game it is not worth your time, it's not worth your resources. So Rock Index is actively using that now, so pushing up front along with Snoetoes using the Revonics, which is an upfront blaster. So I don't have to worry about anyone really shooting at me. I can just hang around in the middle, taking people out with sniper fire, picking up tokens. Nice and easy. I have got this game on easy mode. Rock Index falling back a bit there. I don't know if they've got the Warden leveled up to 14, but if they have, you want to be up front when you die, because when you die you explode and damage people. But if you get taken out at a distance, that's obviously useless. All moot though, because we've got the tokens. All we need to do is defend our position and fall back. Nice and easy, not a problem. Okay, so first victory with this particular team using the coordinated uniforms. Let's move on and have a look at the next game that we played. So Pinball Arena 2 again. I'll never complain about playing on this arena, even though it is the most boring of the arenas. It's very much just about straight lines of sight, which is great for sniping, but it does take away some of the more fun aspects of pinball. But yeah, I love this arena. I always do well on this arena. I don't remember the last time I lost playing on this arena. So yeah, no problem. And straight away we've pushed to the middle, we're holding the centre, we've got one player forward who's just received some heavy knockback, I think from that heavy shotgun. And my teammate's getting taken out there. I think it was Rock Index got taken out. Snoetoes is forward with the Dreadbolt, which is a weird thing to do, and gets taken out. Drops the token on the opposing side. So both my teammates have been taken out. I've just held the middle here. So I'm going to try and push forward and recover this token, because my teammates are clearly intent on running forward, so I might as well lead the charge. That was successful. My teammates, like I thought they would, rushed in, and they're now causing chaos, which enables me to fall back to the centre, because we've still got tokens to pick up. We can't all just kind of hang out in the enemy base, because that, as fun as that is, you know, you can spawn kill them all. You can't win pinball that way. You need somebody back here. I'm the sniper. Makes sense for me to do it. So complete domination so far. Rock Index and Snoetoes have died a couple of times each, but it's pinball and those deaths don't count for anything, so it really doesn't matter. I've picked up 9 of the 10 tokens. I'm not going to fall back. I'm going to try and get the 10th, because one of my teammates has got the 10th token up on the opposing side. I don't want to have to push forward, and I don't need to push forward because we've still got them. Bit of an unusual game tactics wise, that but it didn't matter. There's 3 of us on the team. We win nice and easy, so let's move to the next game. We're in Arena 4 now, which is a bit more fun. This is, from a sniping perspective at least, far more about holding certain areas and certain lines of sight. So coming in with the Ultra Select, obviously, and I'm just going to employ that tactic. Let's see what our teammates do. So immediately a load of fire to the opposing side from one of our teammates. Not sure if we've got a Dreadbolt on the field. We'll soon find out if we have. And our opponents successfully took out whoever teleported to their side and have laid down quite a bit of heavy damage. But Rock Index dropping the power boost aura thing, I can't remember what it's called. And we are comfortably holding that centre, picking up some of the tokens, and now we're managing to push our opponents back to their side. So they're now going to have to keep rushing wave after wave at us, which enables us to be defensive. We have got zombies running around, so the battlefield's going to get cluttered. One of the potential disadvantages to zombies in pinball is they will pick the tokens up and they will charge at the opponent, so they have a tendency to take the tokens and run to the opposing side. So I'm going to run up and try and recover all these tokens, which I do quite nicely. My teammates are playing interference, so I don't have to worry about that 3-on-1 situation. And now I can use the heal card and just fall back comfortably. Rock Index spawns in behind me and charges forward, as does Snoetoes. So I'm just going to let both of those run and kind of play interference. I'm just going to stand back here and lay down some heavy firing damage from the back. And now we're at 10 tokens, so all we need to do is survive. Healing card takes us back up to full health, so this looks like a good position. I'm just aware that I don't have all 10 tokens, but I don't think that's going to be a problem, and it isn't. Nice and easy victory. Okay, let's look at the next game. Okay, so now we're in Arena 1, and this time we're with Rock Index and King Toni. Still in uniform, even though it's a different team, so don't get confused. We no longer have Snoetoes, we now have King Toni. Apart from the blasters, the noticeable difference is King Toni has the yellow skin, the same as Rock Index and I, whereas Snoetoes was using the kind of pale peach skin. Rock Index is using the same 3 blasters as last time, so that leads me to believe that maybe they're using the Warden on purpose and not for request. King Toni is using his natural setup, which is the Titan CS50 in place of like the Ultra Select, so that's the big heavy machine gun, which looks like lots of fun. The Cyclone Shock to increase the rate of fire, and then of course the completely overpowered Rivonix 360. I'm very used to playing with King Toni. King Toni always uses this setup, and I have to admit I think it works really nicely together, because King Toni very much likes to play that kind of heavy upfront position, which really benefits me as the preferred sniper position. King Toni makes their own YouTube videos under the username Todor here on YouTube. I'm going to link them in the description, so go check out their videos, subscribe, you know, be cool. Big advantage to watching King Toni's YouTube videos is you don't need to listen to some mank nerd just talk bollocks over the video. You can just enjoy the gameplay footage. He dropped a really cool half-hour Nerf Superblast gameplay video yesterday. It's labelled part 1, which leads me to believe that there's more coming. Go and check it out, it's really good, and it's got not enough views for the quality of the gameplay. So this game is closing out nicely. Our opponents never managed to hold more than 1 token, and when they did pick up 1 token, they barely held it for a couple of seconds. So nice, easy, straightforward victory there, most likely against bots. Let's move on to the next game. We're back in Arena 2. We're most likely going to see both King Toni and Rockindex fighting up front, playing that tank role, which means I'll have a nice easy time sniping. Play close attention to what King Toni does in this matchup. Hopefully using the Rivonics, we should see some nice cool ricocheting abilities. We have got a bit of lag going on, which isn't ideal, but honestly I don't think it's going to make a difference. Rockindex very intelligently picking out the Ultra Strike and also taking on a sniper role. So King Toni, you can have as much fun as you like with that Rivonics, and as you can see, King Toni is advancing. He's got that shield active to protect himself, and we've just completely wiped all the opponents off the field. So now we've established our position, what we're going to do is lay down heavy fire on their spawn point, and the idea is to take them out quickly, get them to the point where their blasters are on cooldown and they can't all spawn in at the same time. So you can see just one on the field. As soon as another one spawns in, the first one gets killed, and again none on the battlefield. So we've got those blasters on cooldown, which means they're massively under the cosh. We're in complete control and really nothing to worry about at this stage. You can see Rockindex died and it didn't make even the slightest difference. Toni and I just completely held those positions. We didn't need to fall back or change tactics at all because we were in complete control and still are. So King Toni now is right up in their spawn point, being a menace, just causing complete chaos. And Rockindex and I are just comfortably holding the middle, taking some pop shots down the field. We're at 9 tokens, now we're at 10. This should be straightforward, no problem at all. Part of this I think is because Rockindex and Toni are used to playing with each other. As I said, if you go and watch King Toni's video, you will see Rockindex in some of those games. If you get the same people playing over and over again, which is what I'm trying to showcase in this video, players get used to each other, they get used to their styles, they get used to their blasters, and you learn to be a better team as a result. Next game. So you can see the same team of Rockindex, King Toni and I over on King Toni's channel. That's Todor on YouTube. I don't think we've got any of the exact same matches, but you can see the same team dynamics in action, but from King Toni's perspective. And like I say, King Toni plays up front, so you can see how that plays out from both channels. It's well worth a watch if you're interested in the tactics of gameplay. And when you watch from his perspective, a lot of what you see from me is just my darts flying in from the back or the side, taking out people and doing damage. Okay, so we're in control so far. There's a couple of tokens up there and we're just trying to hold the line. No point fighting the way to the centre until we've got control of the battlefield, which we now do. So we can make a cautious advance. Need to be careful because King Toni's low on health, but obviously as soon as that shield comes back, which it has now, that just enables a next stage of the push. So you need to be aware of how your teammates are doing when you're deciding how to approach. If you lead a charge expecting your teammates to be fully behind you when they're both low on health and or ammo, it's not going to go that well. So yeah, just be careful. So in comfortable control, we've got 7 of the 10 tokens now. Got an enemy advancing on the left, jumps to the middle. Oh, they've activated the shield and using that 2 blaster, forcing us to fall back a little bit. We can just wait for the shield to expire and take them out. It's a good combination that, but that 2 blaster just only having 6 darts at a time is a disadvantage to it. It's I think of it as like a poor man's version of the Ultra Select. So on my alt account, I use that because I don't have the Ultra Select unlocked. And we get taken out by a sniper rifle, so now we're coming in with the trusty Rivonics. We've got all those tokens to recover, and we've got the shield available should we need it. That was our opponent's best chance to capitalise, but they weren't able to take advantage of it. They had all 3 forward, they had all 3 of us on the back foot, and 8 of the tokens down. I get taken out by a ghoul grinder, I think maybe from behind, so I've had to come back in with my emergency side blaster, and I'm using the dragon power to basically run forward and recover all those tokens I dropped. So that could have been a potentially bad situation, but thanks to that speed boost, we managed to pick the tokens up. They're back to our base, get taken out again, but at least we've dropped them in the right location, which means all I need to do is spawn in, pick them all up, and now we're at full strength. I've got both of my teammates controlling the centre of the battlefield, so I can just hang out at our base and snipe. So that was a good backwards and forwards at the end there. The opponent's finally making a decent push on us, putting us under a little bit of pressure, but thanks to some good teamwork, we managed to take control and get the victory. Okay, that's all the videos for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.